What if I told you that the wokest game ever made is actually suffering from a lack of playership? There's only about, 80 or so people that are actually willing to put any time into this effort. And what's funny is it comes from a studio and a distributor that are both about as woke as you get. Let's talk about it on That Game Place. Hi, friends, it's me, CC, for That Game Place, and boy, do we have a story for you. Loki, what do you think, my friend?
I think this is abysmal. This is what they get for going down this road, and they only have themselves to blame.
They truly do. Unfortunately, we have a great author that put together the story that we're talking about today, and that is the wokest game ever, Dustborn. And abysmal, you picked the right word, Loki, because the player numbers on release day were terrible. And look, this game is exactly what you think it is. It's a rhythm based adventure game that borrows an awful lot from Telltale and really wishes it was something else and made about 20 years ago. But since none of those things are true and justice is coming after you, well, let's look at what Red Thread Games actually did do. Do. That's right. Red Thread Games recently released Dustborn, which has been described as the wokest game ever and has not hit over 100 concurrent players on its release day, nor ever. And we'll look at that in just a moment. But back in July, following the release of the game's trailer, a representative for the game conducted an interview with PSU and confirmed the entire game spawned out of protest against the former president being elected president of the United States in 2016. Loki, are you surprised at all about
Not
any
at
of that?
all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, this is all they can focus on. This is the only thing this is their only talking point. They keep trying to hammer this home. No, I'm not surprised at all. Not in
Oh,
the
well,
least.
fair enough. Now, if you do get a chance to watch this over at IGN, well, you're just pushing IGN's numbers up. So don't do that. See if you can find it somewhere else. I'm not even going to click play. But a representative was asked, what were some of the inspirations during the early days of making the game? And they responded, for us, it always begins with the characters and the world, followed by the narrative. We generally have an idea of genre, setting, mood, and tone, who the protagonists are, and then we build the game around that. Art direction, game mechanics, engine, specific features, all that follows the world, the story, and most importantly, the characters. That's very different to how some studios operate, but Red Thread is first and foremost a storytelling studio. We tell stories using game mechanics and interactivity, and we do try to do something fresh and different with every game we develop. Well, looking at that, what do you think's new and fresh about this, Loki?
Nothing. It looks like a mid 2000s game. It doesn't look like they updated any kind of mechanics. The characters look generic. I don't see how they did anything new, fresh, and exciting.
Yeah, and the characters are exactly what you think. They're stand-ins for the modern audience, right? The one that doesn't exist. So they wanted Dustborn to be an evolution of what work they did with Dreamfall Chapters, which wasn't very well received either. That was a third-party adventure with a strong cast of diverse characters in a vibrant, deep, and original world with some adventure game mechanics and lots of branching dialogue and stories. Boy, this sounds like a game that's right up Jonas's alley. What do you think there, Loki?
Oh yeah, Mass Effect on steroids. Yeah.
Anyway, this time they did include some combat action with a narrative twist that stays true to our original storytelling heritage. And there's also a bunch of features connected to the idea of weaponized words. Weaponized words.
Weaponized words.
What do,
That's got to
what,
be.
what do you think are weaponized words, Loki?
I don't. I've never heard of. I've never heard of weaponized words. Not in the real world, anyway.
Yeah, and that's the problem. None of these people live in the real world or have had to produce anything in the real world, would be my guess, but I could be wrong. And how words have power to change the world. That's right. Yeah, weaponized words to change the world.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's how it works.
Yeah. And of course, it was inspired by the election of the former president. I guess everybody had TDS the moment he was elected. So they wanted the story to feel relevant. Well, you failed because, we're 4 years after that, and the world got much, much worse by your selection. And thematically timely. In no way is this timely. This is 4 years too late or more, maybe closer
Eight
to 8
years.
years. Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a cast of characters that could more accurately represent our player base and the setting, and to hopefully have some positive impact on the world in addition to being an entertaining game. They really didn't know what they wanted this to be. They just sent a freaking cornucopia of, garbledygook language at us, and they really didn't know what this was because it's representing your player base. Loki, you want to see what their player base looks like?
Oh, I'd love to see what their player base looks like, Culture.
All right, as we scroll past all the messaging here and the most woke game ever commentary. Look at that. Who did this? Smash JT? Yep, Smash JT. There it is, Loki. There's their player base.
72 players, 72-hour peak, or 72 peak in 24 hours, and an all-time peak of 72 5 minutes ago. Wow.
Well, now, mind you, this was a screenshot. This isn't 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to show you the maximum peak they ever had. And there we are. Right now, there's 65 people in game playing this at the moment. Great numbers. And it's a $30 game, Loki. It's a $30 game. Are you sure you're not intrigued by this game?
No, I'm on a couple of lists for free games. I get free games from various sites for being like, a member or whatever. I wouldn't accept this as a free game. I wouldn't claim it. I do that every once in a while where they're like, oh, here's a free game. And I'm like, no, thanks. I wouldn't claim this as a free game, much less pay $29.99 for it.
Yeah, I like you said, I mean, I think the all-time peak for this game now has ticked up to 76. But that's it. The average number of players at any given time are the people who made it, 44. And at this very moment, there's 65.
This came out yesterday.
Yeah. Well, in relation to when this video goes up, it'd be 2 days ago. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, as a time of recording, this was a yesterday, but for the time y'all are seeing it, it's 2 days ago. And like you said, I mean, I'm just looking at it. I mean, the publisher at Quantic Dream, they're woke. This Red Dead game is very woke. And this is quite possibly the wokest game ever. Loki, I'm going to give you the final word on this one. Do you think that studios, after these types of failures, and one that's coming up for everybody who's watching this now, today is Concord. Do you think these studios are actually going to learn something from this, Loki?
Not right away. I think it's good that they're going to have to get slapped down and put out of business, and they're going to have to watch their friends go out of business. We've heard a lot of talk about, oh, well, because, this new game coming out is doing so well and it's anti-woke message, or maybe they'll finally learn. No, they're going to have to, they're going to have to get rid of the people coming out with this stuff before they can start fresh, start new, and start rebuilding the game industry. They're not going to learn anything. They're just going to keep doubling down. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. And that's what we've seen over the last 10 years or more, is the doubling down on these ideas that this stuff can be successful, when it's just not. Nobody wants to play it. Nobody wants it. No one's buying it. So why keep coming out with it?
And that's a great question. I hope it's a question for all of you. Is this a game you would even be interested in? Is this a game you actually question why the game industry went ahead and made? And are you finally coming to the same realization it seems like we are? We're not going to play any game right off the bat until somebody we trust reviews it. I think I can speak for myself and Loki when I think that's the most prudent course of action. And I'm going to take a page out of Grum's book and just kind of let the AAA game industry take a break from me and my wallet. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below, and let us know the answer to those questions. And if you have any of your own, hey, fire them down there as well. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already, or if you think you're subscribed, just double check, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, do all the things. We want you to do all the things. And until next time, get your game on.